Hello and welcome again to my channel. And I know I have been away and I just didn't get quite the time to do some felting. So I'm back again. I made this really cute looking hedgehog and I'm going to show you how I made it. Actually, I made another one before I went on my big break. So I'm using this as a reference and I'm gonna create another one so the both can be friends, and I hope you like them and you make your own little hedgehogs. So this one's a bit simple looking, but the other one I made, he has more details. As you can see, he's wearing a nice jacket, and we're going to make these little hamsters, and let's get started with it. I've used a cordial fawn colored slivers for this one and some wool, and this little guy is a bit smaller. The second one was a bit bigger, so these things happen. So I'm using pipe cleaners, and you can adjust the size you want. I'm using this as a reference, but still the other guy ended up being a little bigger, although I measured this one and wanted to make it same size. So I'm just folding over to make two little feet, and this is one pipe cleaner, and the top is going to be the nose, and this is going to be the neck, and here I add another one and make two arms. You can make the arms shorter later on, but we just got the basic structure. Now I'm wrapping it with wool. So first I'm going to cover the whole skeleton, you may say, with wool and get the basic body, and then I'm going to build on that to see how fat I want the body to be. And the head goes around the top. So the pointy edge is going to be the nose, and I'm making a rounded shape around it to shape the head. I'm building the structure of the body and adding more wool, and as you can see, it's taking shape, and we've got a nice long nose. I don't want it to be too long, so I'm just going to press it. And I'm going to stab all around it so it gets a bit smaller, and if you add more wool around it, it's gonna look a bit smaller and not sticking out so much. Now I'm adding more cheeks to the face, and this gives the character. Adding more to the forehead, coming down to the nose. So now it's taking shape, and it's a fun project to do. I'm adding a dark brown nose and a tiny mouth. For the mouth, I've taken some wool and I'm just going to stamp it. And I've folded it over so I get a nice neat edge. And I'm just going to attach it to the bottom of the face, around it, so you can see a mouth opening. And you can make a smile or a straight face, whatever you want. It's all in the needlework, how you stamp it. Now I'm adding dark brown color. Starting with the head. He's going to be wearing a hat, so I'm not too bothered about the top of the head. But I need the sides covered really well. And the feet, of course. Wrapping some brown wool around the arms as well. And I haven't given too much details. You can make tiny toes if you want, and fingers, but my limbs are really very simple. I'm using glass eyes and just put them in place. Now for the coat or the jacket, I've taken a felt sheet and folding it over. That's going to be the collar, and I'm going to measure how much it's going to go all around the body and cover the front as well. So I'm wrapping it around the hedgehog and just going to mark how much of it I need and how long it's going to be. Just marking it there and going to measure it and make a straight line. And then I'm going to cut it and shape it. So once it's cut, I'm using pins to keep it in place and marking the armholes. And I'm going to cut, just make tiny cuts, enough for the arm to go through. I'm using my pins again to shape the collar, so I know exactly where to cut off the extra bit. This seems too long, so I've just cut off the edge, and I'm felting it down, stabbing along the line so it sticks to the body, and cutting off the extra bits, giving it shape. Now I'm using a fluffy yarn to shape the hat he's wearing. So I'm just going around in circles. Right on the top of the head, I'm using my needle to go randomly. I'm stepping the wool down randomly so I get some volume. And on the edges, I'm trying to make a nice edge. So I'm going over the circles that I had made. I'm just zigzagging it really closely so I get a nice rim of the hat. I'm using a slightly darker color to make the eyelids. And I've just taken a piece of wool and placed it on top of the eyeball, and now I'm stabbing around it and forming the eyelid with my needle, and I'm shaping it around the edge of the glass I have used. Then I'm going to cut off the extra bit, so I'm doing the same on both the sides. This eye seemed a bit thinner than the other one, so I've added more wool, and I'm attaching a wooden button using the yarn, just tapping the yarn in both the holes, and it sticks the button to the coat. And now the ears, before I forget, using the dark brown wool again, and I've just folded it over to make really tiny ears and giving it a nice round edge. Attach the ears on top of the hat and cut off the extra bits. Now I'm making some hair. It's gonna stick up, so just folded some wool over skewer, or you can use a toothpick. Just get it rounded and then stab it down, and it's nice and firm. And be careful not to stab yourself. I did a couple of times. So when it's nice and thick, you can attach it. You can attach it right from the middle, so you get two of them at once, and you can add more color to it if you want. Now attaching the pocket, it's just a piece of felt. I've cut it out, and I'm attaching it with the same yarn I used for the hat. For more details, I'm using a watercolor marker, and I'm just making lines around the coat, so it just has a few more details. And a little darker brown around the eyes, and some inside the mouth, some pink color. Using my smallest needle to give the details. And here you can see the completed hedgehog. He's got a friend as well, a little simpler looking and smaller. I'm sorry about the table. I do loads of crafts as well at one time, so my table is always a mess. I've been trying my hand at wooden crafts. So here they are. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it was easy to follow along. Thank you very much for watching.